Hey guys, Dave here from Wolf in the Wild Survival. Once again, it's been a little while since I've done a video, probably about a month. It's so hard to get back into the flow of things after taking so much time off. And also, I mean, if you saw my last few videos, you know that my truck blew up and I never got it fixed. I had to buy a different one, and the cost of doing that just kind of it was a lot. And weather hasn't been cooperating with me too much. There's just a whole bunch of factors other than just me being lazy. That being said, the video that I've got for you right now, it's probably a little bit late to shoot this, but, well, I don't really have anything better to do right now, so let's get at it. Today, I'm going to talk to you guys about horse nettle, which sometimes is called Sodom apple or soda apple. And I think in other places it's called prickly nightshade. The reason why this plant is so important to know about will become evident as soon as I show you what we're talking about. It looks almost identical when it's ripe to cherry tomatoes. And from what I understand, it likes disturbed soil. So you're going to find it like along trails, along farmers' fields, near like rivers and whatnot, areas where, you know, the soil gets turned up a bit. And it would be very easy to mistake them for cherry tomatoes until, you know, you grab the plant to pick some and you find the thorns. Now, there's not really any fully live plants right now. We've already had 2 snowfalls. It's warmed up a bit, and the snow is all gone right now. But you know, most of the plants are dead or dying, and these ones here are definitely dead. But there's still a lot of the fruit, which is more or less the focus of what we're doing here. So let me get the camera sort of down onto what we're talking about, and I can elaborate from there. Okay, right here we have the toxic fruits. The whole plant's toxic, but the fruits are the most toxic. And at this time of year, they are the absolute most toxic. These things will make you real sick. Definitely not something that you want to try and eat. Now, they do have a very light tomato flavor. They're very bitter. I don't imagine that anybody would actually want to eat these things, but they are somewhat reminiscent of the flavor of a tomato, and that could be enough to fool somebody into thinking that they have something that would be edible. When they're green, they look like teeny tiny little watermelons, and then they ripen to this off yellow, sort of green yellow-ish. I don't know. I don't even know how to describe that. I have my color corrective glasses on, so I'm sure I'm seeing the color properly, but it's not quite green, it's not quite yellow, it's not quite orange. I don't really know what to call it because, well, honestly, I still don't know all my colors. I've only had my glasses for a few years here, I guess, so what are you going to do? But there it is. But that is the ripe berries, which, let me wind that back out. Well, that's really slow. Okay. Come on, break open now. Well, I got the skin off. Blech. Come on. It's really slimy. Okay. I didn't want to dirty up my knife, but it's full of teeny tiny little seeds and slime, and it does look somewhat like tomato seeds. There's just a whole lot more of them, like a lot more, and it is really, really slimy, like more slimy than the inside of a tomato is normally. Very, very, very mucilaginous. Now, maybe, possibly, they're called horse nettle because the inside of these things smell just a little bit like horse manure. I don't know, but yeah, not pleasant. Not very pleasant. Ow, wow. Okay. Now I've found this here, and hopefully that's focusing in on all the thorns. And they are, as you can tell, like little hypodermic needles, very unforgiving. And there was, oh, it fell off. There was a dead leaf on here, which wouldn't really give you a whole lot of an idea what the leaves look like. But I mean, if you look up horse nettle with a Google search, you'll find it pretty easily. As you can tell, the berry clusters grow pretty thickly. There's a lot of them on there, and they really do look an awful lot like cherry tomatoes at this stage, especially when I take my color corrective glasses off and everything kind of blends and looks the same to me. But one would almost, in a bad situation, you're really, really hungry, one would almost think that maybe these are small tomatoes and there's an abundance of them, and, you know, oh, what a lucky find, and, you know, scarf a bunch down, and, you know, their situation just got a whole lot worse. So I'm back over at what used to be my bushcraft camp, and it looks like some kids are building a fort here. The only thing that's really left is my chair and my fire pit, and I mean, they actually redid the fire pit and cleaned it all out even. Burnt up all the firewood, but I mean, there's an abundance of firewood around here, and as far as the kids building a fort back here, ripped apart everything else, a lot of people might think, you know, I'm bothered by this or whatever. I'm just happy there's, you know, some kids out in the bush playing rather than, you know, sitting at home on video games or got their face stuck in a phone. But in, like, the unlikely event that any of you guys are watching this, the twine that you're using isn't going to hold up your fort, guys. Go to Forest City Surplus, get some tarred bank line. That'll hold it up better. It'll last a lot longer. Check out some knot videos as well, not just on my channel, but any channel. There's a ton of them out there. Do I even have knots? I don't think I have any videos specifically about knots now that I think about it. It just, whatever. Anyway, back to what we were talking about, horse nettle. On the way over, I just did a quick look, and I asked about medicinal uses, and it's basically everything that I said it was, except it's also used as a painkiller. How it's used as a painkiller, it doesn't actually say. But I know the roots were used as a sedative, so I tend to think it might have something to do with the roots. That being said, toxicity. A lot of you are probably wondering about the toxicity levels of this plant. Long story short, it can kill you. Especially if you're a kid. The younger you are, the more likely you are to die from this. At best, it's going to cause constipation and severe gastrointestinal issues. Do not mess with this plant. It's an irritant. I think, did I mention before or not? It irritates, like, basically anything it touches, especially the mucous membranes. It causes a rash very similar to that of stinging nettle. And it's probably why it's called horse nettle, actually. And me, like, getting it all over my hands, probably not the best idea. But stinging never really bothered me, really at all. So I wasn't worried about it. I did try a little experiment, though. I did take some of those juices, and I just put it on the tip of my tongue. And I let it sit there for maybe 15, 20 seconds. And then I used some of my water, I swished, and I spit it out. I didn't get any into me, really, just on the tip of my tongue. I am experiencing a little bit of a tingling sensation. It's not really that uncomfortable, but I put very, very little on. So, is it having an effect? Yes. Is it really, really irritating right now? No, not really. But I imagine the more you get on, the longer it's there, the worse it's going to get. I put very small amount on and then rinsed out, spit it out. I went down to the river, I washed my hands, kind of whatever. I would say if you were to eat a few full berries, it's going to start to get irritating really, really fast. So getting a lethal dose of this stuff into you, I don't know how easy that would be, because I don't know what actually constitutes a lethal dose. But I can imagine that inside of eating a very small handful, you're going to start to realize that you've done something wrong when that irritation really starts. Hopefully that's not a lethal dose yet, but it is potentially fatal. Other than that, I don't think there's anything more I could say about horse nettle, to be honest. That's pretty much it for this video, all in all. So hopefully we'll see you guys in the next video. I hope you enjoyed this one. Until next time, stay wild.